Hi, welcome to our first compliance training module, Working for an Investment Dealer. This session is clearly gauged to those who are new to working for an investment dealer. We will focus on some basic compliance topics to give you an understanding of the industry and the regulatory requirements that are specific to working for an investment dealer. If you have any questions during this presentation, please don't hesitate to use the text box just up here on the right-hand side. You can submit questions at any time, and we will be happy to respond to you. So let's get started. There are three training objectives in this presentation. First, we'll review the regulatory landscape and the three regulators we deal with most: IIROC, the CSA, and FINTRAC. Second, we'll look at the role compliance plays in an investment dealer. Compliance is a part of all areas of the business, and we hope to provide some context to our role both internally and externally. Lastly, we'll talk about you, the employee. When working for an investment dealer, there are some things that you need to know. Our regulators have established rules for all dealers. Our compliance department has written policies on these rules, and together with the bank's code of conduct, we have responsibilities as employees. All of this we'll touch on shortly. So first, let's move to our main section, the regulatory landscape. Have you ever wondered how many organizations provide oversight or regulation in the financial services sector in Canada? There's a lot. Just take a look. There are at least 14 agencies, organizations, and commissions focused on ensuring regulatory protection, but we're only going to look at three of them. IIROC, the Investment Industry Regulatory Organization of Canada. IIROC is a self-regulatory organization. They're an independent group that regulates the activities of its members. The members are investment dealers, whose primary business is to trade securities. Investment dealers in Canada must be a member of IIROC. Now, given that NBIN is a division of National Bank Financial, it's NBF Inc. that is the IIROC member dealer. So IIROC is our primary regulator. Next, we have the CSA, the Canadian Securities Administrators. The CSA is an umbrella organization made up of all provincial securities commissions. As independent crown corporations, CSA members are responsible for regulating the capital markets in Canada. As an example, in Ontario, the Ontario Securities Commission is responsible for regulating public companies, investment funds, and marketplaces like the Toronto Stock Exchange. One other area of the industry that CSA members oversee are portfolio management firms, so our PM firms. So if we look at the last two regulators, IIROC focuses on introducing brokers or broker-dealers, and the CSA focuses on portfolio management firms. The third regulator we'll look at is FINTRAC. FINTRAC stands for the Financial Transactions and Reports Analysis Centre of Canada. FINTRAC's an agency of the Government of Canada, and they're responsible for facilitating the detection, prevention, and deterrence of money laundering, terrorist activity financing, and other threats to the security of Canada. What basically happens is FINTRAC receives reports from financial institutions and analyzes those reports and discloses suspicious money laundering of terrorist activities to the police authorities. So to review our three regulators, IIROC is the self-regulatory organization that's responsible for investment dealers in Canada and is the primary regulator of NBF. The CSA is an organization composed of provincial regulators whose role is to regulate the capital markets in Canada and portfolio management firms. And FINTRAC is the government agency that works with financial institutions to acquire reports of suspicious activity, and it provides those reports to the police authorities. Our next topic, the responsibilities of compliance. Would you be able to explain what the compliance department actually does? I'm sure you could probably think of a few things, like policy or rules. So let me share with you the role of compliance. The role of compliance department is to identify, assess, advise on, act on, communicate, monitor, escalate, and report on dealer members' compliance with regulatory requirements. Wow, is that ever a mouthful? And does that ever touch on so many different things? So if we have a compliance team who is assessing, advising, writing policy, monitoring, and so forth, how do we ensure that we have a compliance culture among our staff and have strong compliance requirements? Well, here are 3 things that each employee can help with in building a strong compliance culture. Being compliant with applicable rules and regulations, the importance of personal integrity, and dealing with clients fairly, honestly, and in good faith at all times. As we can see from above, compliance is not just a function that is the responsibility of the compliance department. Compliance is the responsibility of each individual in all departments, acting on behalf of the firm. So let's look at some things that we actually do that you may need to contact us, or when you may have questions to reach out to us. First, compliance develops policy and guidance. All the rules that are coming from the regulators are principle-based. Because no 2 investment dealers are exactly the same, regulators will create rules that focus on a principle. They will then leave it to the dealer member to write a policy that reflects the member's business, but also meets the principle of the rule. Our policies are designed to protect our business, protect our clients, and limit conflicts of interest. They're also designed to protect against financial crime. Some of the common policies we've developed for our organization are confidentiality, trading rules, anti-money laundering, and the protection against fraud. Second, surveillance and monitoring. We're in the business of trading securities. That's NBF Inc. And with that comes the possibility of market manipulation and manipulative and deceptive trading. The compliance department sets out controls and tests to ensure we limit our exposure and catch any attempts at fraudulent activity. So we are overseeing the trading that does happen. Some examples of our surveillance activity and what we're looking for would be market timing, high frequency penny stock trading, insider trading, tipping. So when we see large bumps or drops in the marketplace. The last point I want to speak to is contact with the regulators. Compliance should be the first point of contact for any regulatory interaction. We've spoken about 3 types of regulators that have frequent interactions with our business, and it is usually during audits and investigations that these regulators are likely to contact our operations teams, our trading teams, our client support, or business development teams. Now, with compliance having a 360 view of all the activities that are happening in our business, we generally understand what the regulators are looking for and what they're not looking for when they specifically don't tell us. So that is why we ask to be one of the first points of contact so that we can quarterback those conversations and those requests. Let's move on to how we work externally. Compliance focuses also its attention on our external partners. Our business works directly with introducing brokers and portfolio management firms. Each of these firms have their own compliance departments who are responsible for the activities they conduct. However, there are some shared responsibilities between us both. For introducing brokers, the main shared responsibility is trading. Where introducing brokers use our trade desk and place trades through our system, we must ensure that we are meeting our regulatory requirements against UMER, IIROC's rules on trading. Just because someone tells us to put a trade in doesn't mean we do it without review or oversight. For portfolio management firms, our primary concern is AML, anti-money laundering, knowing who the clients are and focusing on the movement of money. Our arrangement with portfolio management firms is such that NBIN holds the end-client relationship. So knowing who our clients are is one of the most important factors of that area of business. Now, for all the clients we have, we often provide compliance support to our portfolio management and introducing brokerage compliance teams. When it comes to audits, policies, or other shared activities that we may be undergoing, we are happy to provide support to them. Regulatory audits, question on policies, and insights or guidance are very typical situations where we connect with those other dealers. Third and finally, compliance is widely involved in our community. Members of our team are represented on the street on many communities and organizations. We have individuals on the district council. We have individuals on industry committees focused on institutional trading, education, seniors issues, and many other small areas. And lastly, we are a big part of working groups. Where rules and regulations are being developed, we are a part of having a voice, of having a say, and helping during the incubation and development of those rules. We now move on to our final section, employee responsibilities. We've had the opportunity of explaining the regulatory landscape and what kinds of regulation impact the dealer you work for. It is here that we put it all together for you to understand some of the other responsibilities you have when working for an investment dealer like NBIN or NBF. In an organization as large as ours, we not only have the policies set out by the bank, but also the policies developed specifically for our business division. So we start at the top, the bank's code of conduct and ethics. All employees of the bank must adhere to the code of conduct and ethics, adhering to and following things like privacy, respect, confidentiality, conflicts of interest, and respecting our organization is something we all must adhere to. You can find the bank's code of conduct and ethics policy on the Employee Zone. We also have identified our primary regulator as IIROC. Our business division has its own policy manual to meet IIROC's rules. All employees of NBIN or NBF must be familiar with this policy manual and know where to access it. If you're wondering right now where you can find the NBIN Compliance Policy Manual, it is available on the Risk and Compliance SharePoint site, probably the same place that you accessed this training session. It will have all the information you're looking for, including the policy manual and guidance notices. Let's look at two of the policies that are specific to you and to our business division. Client conflicts of interest. IIROC wants to ensure that we have a review mechanism for all conflicts of interest. Every year, all employees of the investment dealer must disclose and confirm any outside business activities. Having a second job, being part of another business, volunteering with an organization. These are all examples of outside business activities where a conflict of interest could take place with one of our clients. Also, the time you spend with a second job or activity could take away from the time you should be spending focused on our clients and their business. It is for this reason that our regulators insist on disclosing any outside business activity. Each year, you will be obligated to complete an attestation that ensures you are adhering to the policies of our business, as well as disclosing those outside business activities. If you're registered with IIROC, you'll be required to have those outside business activities approved and sent to the registration team for review and uploading to IIROC. Good news is that all of this is done through our electronic attestation form and can be easily completed or updated at any time. The second policy we want to highlight is the personal trading policy for investment accounts. Similar to the outside business activity policy, all employees of our business division must disclose annually any investment accounts they have for themselves and anyone in their household. Working for an investment dealer where we have clients trading and employees trading, and where we have confidential information is a valuable concern. So let's say a new deal is being put together to merge two big companies, or where perhaps a very big institutional client is about to make some big trades, or where on our trading group they are merging one fund into another fund. The opportunity to profit on the heels of this information is strictly forbidden, and it is for this reason that we are obligated to supervise the personal trading of our employees. And that begins with disclosing investment accounts, knowing where those accounts are. Disclosure of your investment accounts follows the same process as outside business activity and is done through the same electronic attestation application. We have put together a guidance notice for personal trading on our SharePoint site that you can review for more information. There's a long list of Q&As that should resolve any questions you may have about that policy. Our last topic is that every employee is a gatekeeper. What it means to be a gatekeeper is that every employee has the responsibility to act on or escalate issues that they may deem to be questionable or concerning. If you see something that you think isn't right, or if you are asked to do a process on something that you think isn't right, or if you are asked to do something that just doesn't sit well, never hesitate to ask your manager or contact any member of the compliance team. All employees have the responsibility to act on or escalate issues that may go against our policies or principles. Well, this brings us to the end of our session. Working for an investment dealer can sometimes feel overwhelming with all the rules and regulations, but this is where we are here to help. If you ever have any questions about a policy or wonder if a policy is in place, you can access our SharePoint site, where we continue to provide timely and relevant information to help you with your job. We also have a section on our SharePoint site called Risk, Compliance, Legal, or Operations. It's a great spot to look at any issues you may have and wonder, who should I contact about these issues, if you have those questions. Thanks so much for your time today, and remember, we are here to help. Bye.